Indeed. Yes. Hello, good morning, Mr. George in Ikeja.
Uncle Yori, and good morning to Tony.
Yes. Good morning.
Uncle Yori, truth must be told. When this issue of agitation was launched by Nnamdi Kanu in the East, it wasn't militant initially. Later on, he launched a military wing that was becoming troublesome to the society. We did not see the leaders in the East do anything. From my own way of seeing it, they instead encouraged it. The political elites in the East believed it will help them in their political ambitions. That if their son is calling for a separate country, the rest of the country might be forced to allow a president to be elected from the East. Because of that, they fell quiet and the thing grew and grew and grew. To the point that they themselves, and even IPOB, set up by Nnamdi Kanu himself, could no longer control it. You can always start something. You can't control the effect. When something like that happened in Yoruba land not long ago, the group came out and said they want separation from Nigeria. What did you see? The leaders in the Southwest, the Obas, the political elites, all of them said, no, you cannot do that. We will disown you. Within a few weeks, it melted down. Those boys did not say anything again. They disappeared into the thin air. But what do you think it is? The elders group, the people who are supposed to be regarded as the leaders and the elders, every day they go to the government, release our son. He has not done anything. And I'm sorry to disagree with Tony on this aspect. When he said the government did wrong by not releasing him, this guy committed crime. He launched a radio station, calling Nigeria all sorts of names. He launched a military wing, committing crimes, killing people. Many people have died. Is that not a crime that the government should punish him for? If your son is doing something wrong, you must tell that your son that he has done wrong in love, not covering him, and then on the other hand, you are using it to try to achieve a political gain. That is wrong. And if you don't, I've always said it on this program on Creole, if you don't address the cause of a problem, you will never solve it from the top. The root cause is that where Nnamdi Kanu came from, his people are hypocritical. I'm sorry to use that word, but that's the truth. They are hypocritical about their attitude to the subject matter, and that is what has caused all this. To the extent that
okay, I think we did lose there. Okay, that was Tony. So that was Mr. George going on there about his perspective on this whole matter. Okay, some of it was a bit delicate in the sense, one has to be careful about what one utters on these matters. But he doesn't think that, well, you said that there is a percentage that cannot be discounted, that can be achieved. But to the main subject matter, because this is not about IPOB. No. This is not about IPOB. No. It's about insecurity in the area. And where that is coming from, there are these linkages that you don't quite understand. For instance, Ebubeago, for example, their own version of
Amateku.
If you want to put it that way.
Well, that's it.
Everybody has to come up with their own sort of, because you pointed out that they were able to say, don't come out. Oh, ye hear this, oh, ye hear this. Don't come out on certain days and people complied. People, even though the governors were trying to persuade them, the people complied. Now, and meanwhile, there are also kidnappers, robbers. They sometimes, are exported out of the area. So it becomes difficult because there seem to be quite a number of forces in there. The straightforward criminal forces. Kidnappers.
Let me help you.
Okay, let the Reverend Dominic come in, and then you come in. Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Good morning, Chief Yori. Good morning, sir. Johnny.
We're looking at the security situation in the southeast.
Yes, Yori, it is quite interesting when you bring guests here. But to be frank, Tony, God bless you. Tony has spoken truth to power. But Chief Yori, let me answer George and answer to Nigerians. George is not fair to us. As a man called Joe Ibokwe, his house has been burned down in the east. Most of us do not go to the east because we do not support IPOB. Not because we don't support, we are different. No, we don't support the injustice they made to us. But this young man called in prison now, Nnamdi Kanu, when he rose up, most of us, I won't tell you what I told him on television. We told him how to go this way. You can't fight an elephant while you're an ant. That's another thing I don't want to say here. Most of us, Yori, do not go to Southeast again. Because if you go to Southeast today and say, young men, take it easy, you become a saboteur. You are married to be destroyed or killed. So, George is not fair. All the elders of Igbo land did not support this movement the way they're going about it. We supported that there's injustice made against us, but you don't use injustice to fight injustice. That's our position. Number two, Tony has been right. When this thing started, they declared IPOB militant group. They have not killed one fly. Tony is my witness. I'll talk some more. They have not killed one fly. We said the last administration, not this administration, but administration, mismanaged the whole issue. How do you tag a people who in UN, you have right to say, I don't want to belong to this nation or that nation. You don't tag the militants. By that, they have not killed one bird. They have not killed one fly. It's when they call the militants and they arrest this man, take him to court. One of our senators, I believe it, stood for him. And when he came back, Nigeria government went to his house to fight him, even not the day of the court. These guys did not abscond. It is that war. I went there 2 years ago. If you still go to Nnamdi Kanu house today, it's like a civil war place. Over 20 cars were burned down. I'm not supporting him. But what I'm trying to say, there's no Igbo man that watched this case. I'm above 50 and have been part of the Igbo people that supported Nnamdi Kanu and the way he's going. Do you know he calls us as pastors? He said we are stupid pastors. He don't respect the traditional rulers. He doesn't respect the political leaders. They won't like what I'm saying now. But George is not blanket we, who are intellectuals from Southeast, that we supported Nnamdi Kanu. That is not true. What happened is that the last government mismanaged it. Do you know that this young man called Nnamdi Kanu has started this shenanigans in the days of Goodluck Jonathan. And Goodluck Jonathan ignored him. He went to the dustbin of no history. It was the Buhari government that made hero out of nobody. And today, we have with us. Let me say this. The situation in Southeast today, even though you release this man, we don't go to normal. Because Amrapas have become IPOB. Kidnappers have become IPOB. What is unknown government? I've told you this station. There's nothing like unknown government. IPOB people are our brothers. They are our sisters. They are our cousins. They are in-laws. We know them. But what you call unknown men, we are criminals who took advantage of a bad situation. So please, judge not insult the Igbo people. We do not support that nonsense. If we want to pull away from Nigeria, we are intellectual enough to know what to do. And we're not going out of Nigeria. We have built this nation from Sokoto to Abuja to Lagos. Igbos, we have built it. We're not going anywhere. So please, sir, let me say this. I beg Tinubu, who is a good activist like me, to release this man to go back to UK and let's find our peace here. Because that man is irrelevant to come to Igbo land. He has no voice in Igbo land. It's not a possibility.
All right then.
Well, I think he just said some of the things I wanted to say with respect to your question, that as we speak today, criminals have taken advantage of what is happening in the Southwest. Southeast. Yes, Southeast.
What ordinarily should be a political agitation?
It's just like when you hear kidnapping in the north, for example. You first of all go to, everybody thinks it's the Fulani men that kidnaps. But it's not a very big business. It has nothing to do with the Fulani or any, it's just exclusively criminals. And maybe when you talk about the, yes, when you talk about the terrorists that want to use it to raise their terrorism, financing, whatever. And that's what is happening in the Southeast as we speak. As we speak. Unfortunately, being aided and abetted by their own brothers and some of the criminal elements that are in some of these forces. Aiding them and abetting them. And that is why you are talking about some of these security challenges in this Southeast. Now, Nnamdi Kanu will, once you see, there is no way you talk about Southeast security challenge that you will not talk about IPOB.
Yes.
You know, because, but like he rightly said, IPOB is now a combination of the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's a combination of all forms of criminals. Maybe some of them can be, you know, can have that philosophy and the like. But, you see, it's so painful to the extent that prophetically, if Nnamdi Kanu is released today, it may interest you that he may contest as president of Nigeria. It may interest you that if he say, okay, I want to be governor of his state, he will win landslide.
Well, because there is a certain notoriety now.
That's, he will, if he decide to say, okay, I want to start from my state, he will have a landslide victory.
Okay. Luke in Port Harcourt. Good morning to you, sir.
My brother, see, I want to differentiate. Let us understand this thing this way. There's different types of different criminality. And I have constantly said to Nigeria that look, we are not in support of foreigners. They are not in support of things. It's not like you build there. There are some things called uninvited guests. They come. That does not mean that they are important. They are invited. That they are part of that house, my brother. The issue of Nnamdi Kanu has become a thing. I don't know. When you teach me what I've already known, Nigerian government is already. It pains me when I saw Supreme Court returning this man back to a work court. That was thing would have been buried. When people come out and say, look, release Nnamdi Kanu, we are saying so is because we want to differentiate between the invited guests and non-invited guests, my brother. As it stands today, I am an Akwa Ibomite. If anything happened by the military from the Southeast, I'm not seeing it as a professionalism. I'm not seeing it as a justified issue. Because, see, my brother, let us be very frank with us. Until you differentiate these two things, we are not going to have it right. Let this man go so that we can, everybody can criticize what is to be criticized. Everybody can condemn what is to be condemned. Everybody can come out and say, okay, fine. Now that this is called by his name, what about this? And then we will also say, we will also come out to say, look, government, use force. But as it stands now, I am telling the Nigerian government that whatever force they use on the surface is injustice. To me, that's personal. That's personal. Until Nnamdi Kanu is, in fact, it even come to a stage where I said, if you want to jail him, so that we understand that, look, he has paid, he has committed a crime, and he is paying for what he did. But as it stands now, you put, you know, it's just like you putting one leg inside a car and then putting one outside, the other one outside the car. It's not normal, my brother. It's not normal. This man has been, okay, even up to the Supreme Court, the only thing they said here was, oh, sorry, it was a mistake. We know that you were, I don't know, from Kenya and all those things. They only, is that what is your job? Your job is not to sympathize. Your job is to do justice.
All right, so then. Well, thank you. Thank you for calling in, Luke. Really appreciate your call. Do please stay with us with Dr. Tony Ofoyetan in studio here. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.